Hey guys, today I'm excited to show you how you can build your own search engine with Apache Solr. In this tutorial, I assume you will be a beginner level when you have never touched a search engine document store before. So in this tutorial, I'll break it up to two parts. The first part, I'll show you how you can install Solr locally via Docker. It's very simple, and I assume you don't have much Docker experience as well, but if you would like to learn more about Docker, you can see some of my other videos in my channel. So let's get started. The first thing we need to do is to set up a Docker Compose file. I'll be using Docker Compose to make everything simple. So this code will be available in my GitHub, which I'll post in the description below. You can go there and download, clone the repo, and you can look at this file called dockercompose.yaml file. So this will be using version 2 of Docker Compose, and it will define Solr as our image, and it will run on the port 8983, which is very standard in Solr. And it will create a core. A core is an index for where you store all your documents in. So if you're familiar with things like MongoDB or Elasticsearch, this is very similar. Solr, in my opinion, is much more powerful in terms of searching capabilities. Elasticsearch also is very good at it. So I'll be using Solr in this tutorial and show you how you can store some documents in a database and perform some basic searches. In the first part, let's set up the Solr system, the Solr application on our machine so we can run it in our browser. So let's go here, and then you go into the directory where this Docker Compose YAML file is located, and then all you have to do is you type Docker Compose up. This will start the whole process of downloading the Solr image and starting the application. Now I already done this previously, so it started up very fast in milliseconds. But if this is the first time you run this command, you will have to wait for a little bit for all the Solr images to download from the server, and then for the images to be built and then run, which will take about a minute or two on your computer. So once that's running, Solr will be running in the background process. I can head over to my browser, do localhost 8983, and you can see that Solr is running on my server. So this is running from the Docker image. Now this may look very foreign to you. I will skip a lot of these and just get right to the part where you should care about, which is the core. So you select the core that we created from our Docker YAML file, and then here you can go to query. This is the part where you will work most of your time on. Here you can perform searches on what's stored in your database. So in my previous setup before this video, I've added some documents into the store. So if I want to search, let's say, list all documents that's in the database, all I have to do is click on, put this query in here, and then click on execute query. Now this will tell me I have 27 documents in my database, and here are the documents. Now by default, Solr will show 10 results per page, but if I want more than 10 results, I want all 27, I can just change the row value here to 27 and then do execute query, and then I'll have all 27 documents on my screen. So these are documents, they look, as you can see, they're in JSON format, so it's very easy for you to read and identify. And if I want to do a query, let's say I want all documents by author YZ, which is myself. So I can do, so the syntax of Solr query is the key column value. So in the query you can search, I want to search for all the author. So author will match the field called author here. I want all the author name YZ. So this will search for the store for the document. And if I do execute query, it will see, as you can see, it finds one document that matches it. So Solr is extremely fast, and the whole query time takes 10 milliseconds. So this is amazing. The performance of Solr is amazing. So let's go back to all the documents. I can also do star and it will list all the documents. Let's say I want all the female, here I have a bunch of profiles of users. Let's say I want all the female users. Let me list them all. So as you can guess, I can do a search by gender, female. So I press execute query, and as you can see, we have 15 documents which are all females. So this is, as you can see, it's a very powerful system where you can do a bunch of searches, and that's just the basic search that Solr provides. So at the moment, you can even sort by different dates. If you have a date field, like Solr understands the dates, or like ascending, descending order of all the IDs. So let me do an example. Let's say I have gender, female, and then I want to sort by the ID field and in ascending order. So so the problem, the reason you've seen here 1 and then 10 is that the schema that I gave to Solr was that this is a string instead of a number. So if the ID field is a numeric value, it will able to sort it by the value 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So at the moment it's a string. That's why it's sorting it by alphabetical. So how do you add a document to Solr? Well, that's very easy. You can go to documents field here and then use the update handler. So if I want to add another document, so Solr is schemaless. It supports schemaless database just like MongoDB. So if I want to add an arbitrary document, let's say it's a book, right? I want to do a book object. So title, my book title. And then, so for Solr, if you provide an ID to it, it will use that as an ID. So I'll do ABC. No, let me just do 9000 as the ID. And then, oops, my syntax. And then I can do author. And then I can mark myself as the author. And then website, pentacode. Right, so you have all of these things, and then I can just do submit document. As you can see, it says success. This means now I can look for this book, right? So let's go back to the query part, and then do a same search for author YZ. As you can see now, this document that we just created is part of the result because the author is also YZ. So Solr was able to add that, and I was immediately able to search for all of that. And you can actually have Solr output different results. So if I don't want JSON, I want XML, it'll give me XML version or CSV. So this gives you like huge flexibility for if you want to do data processing and stuff. Now that's just the surface. There's so much more down here. Solr provides the ability to do like faceted search, spatial, so it pretty much could be a search engine. And if you want to build your own little search engine or your own website, do some sort of search, like Solr is perfect for it. So that is it for this first part of the tutorial. For the next part, we're going to set up a NodeJS application that talks to Solr and using a Solr library, so you can build your own web application that interact with this Solr database. So I'll see you in the next tutorial.